My name is Edward Estipona. I'm an advertising executive. I'm a first-generation immigrant. I immigrated from the Philippines at the age of 5. We moved to Detroit, Michigan, lived there for a couple of years before we finally settled in 1982 in Reno. Also ended up graduating with a degree in marketing at the University of Nevada, Reno. And from there, started to open my own business right out of school. I was 22 years old, 30 years ago, roughly to this day. I don't think I had a choice. We were probably finished with the first Iraq war, and we were in a recession as a country.
Considerable progress has been made in moving towards a ceasefire and post-war planning.
I'd applied in 60 jobs. I had gotten 60 rejection letters. To this day, I have those letters right by my desk because 60 people didn't think I was good enough. And I basically said, you know what? If nobody's gonna give me a job, I'm gonna give myself a job. So I started my own business. When we came to this country, we had nothing but the suitcase. We're lucky to even, as immigrants in this country, to immigrate with suitcases. There are people that have immigrated with a lot less than a suitcase. And when you are told by a fourth grader kid, they get you maybe at 9 years old at fourth grade, and you're told to go back to the place you belong from a fourth grader, I can't comprehend how that fourth grader would know that. I do not comprehend. But understanding that this is the land of opportunity, I was gonna get what I put in. And so I wanted what everybody else had. So I was gonna work harder than everybody else to get it. You can be smarter than me, you can be richer than me, but you're never gonna outwork me. I'm able to look at things from a different set of lens, from a cultural lens. Since the beginning of time of communication, we've always assumed that if we just go with the sexiest message and the coolest message, that everybody's gonna get it. Well, not everybody gets it, because you understand there's a lot of cultural differences between one culture to the next. So there's a lot of this misunderstanding that goes on. I grew up in an American culture, but at the same time maintained a Chinese-Filipino culture. So being able to look at it from that lens, I'm always able to have the empathy because of that. But only now I'm starting to begin to see people of different representation. And that's the awesome thing, because now once we have that, then we're gonna get fairness in information. Until then, there's always gonna be bias. It's just, we only know what we know. We only know what we experience. And having people that have different experience, super important. When I first started this business, I was 22 years old, strike one. I was Asian, in a predominantly white male community, strike two. It goes back to this attitude that I'm going to outwork you, and I'm going to be persistent. I'm not going to give up the first time I run into a roadblock. I'm not going to give up the first time you say no to me. That's who I am. Because at the end of the day, if you want fair representation in communication, you need to stay in this field. Otherwise, other people are speaking on your behalf, and they're not speaking based on your cultural reference point. The first 5 years in business, that negative energy of not getting a job, not feeling like I was worth anything, right? I used that to work ridiculous sums of hours, just ridiculous. Because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna tell me what I can do or can't do. This is a free country. This is the beauty of this country. So we just do it. That's some emotional shit.